Namaste and welcome to Tridevi Chamunda Mandir in Denver, Colorado. This is Yamajit. Thank you for joining me, and I also wish to apologize for the technical difficulties we had yesterday in presenting part 22 of Meditations of the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. And so I am rebroadcasting the meditations, and I hope you enjoy them. So I invite you to find a comfortable place to sit. It can be sitting on your mat, maybe with a cushion under your hips, or a straight back chair will work as well. But find that comfortable position where your back is straight, maybe roll the shoulders back to open the chest, and begin to breathe deeply and close your eyes. Breathing deeply and slowly, clearing your mind, settling in, and preparing for meditation. And now as you breathe, upon each inhalation and exhalation, I invite you to silently repeat to yourself the word I. 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 Inhaling I and exhaling I. And as thoughts of I am this or I am that begin to arise, simply let those attachments drop away. Let those supports drop away and keep meditating on just that single word, I. 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 And focus on the pure sense of I. And this I is your sense of being free from any association. I am pure awareness, prior to any thoughts and feelings. And just continue meditating on the syllable I. And feel yourself becoming more and more peaceful. While making assertions like I am, this is mine, and so on, let your mind go to that pure sense of I that exists without any thoughts for support. Contemplating this pure sense of I becomes supremely peaceful. So this is verse 131 of the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. So I invite you to take a deep and clearing breath, letting go of this meditation. Checking in with yourself and just noticing how you're feeling after this experience. what effects this meditation might have had on you. When you feel ready, I invite you to slowly open your eyes, but maintaining a relaxed gaze. So in all the different roles that we play in life, there's one constant, and that is our sense of being, our sense of I. Usually we identify with ideas about ourselves as well as our roles in life. I am a teacher, I am a student, I'm a parent, I'm a yogi, I'm in business, I'm a success, I'm a failure. In this meditation, we focused on the pure I without going to those other thoughts. And this I is your sense of pure being, just pure awareness. And then allowing yourself in that state of pure awareness to find inner peace. Jai Ma. So once again, I invite you to close your eyes. Resume that deep yogic breathing, slowly, deeply, completely filling and emptying the lungs. Real belly breath. And once again, take a moment to clear your mind. And so I invite you now to focus on your heart center and silently connect with whatever aspect of the divine you happen to be closest to. Your patron deity, your Ishtadevata. Kali, Shiva, Vishnu, Krishna, Ganesh, Jesus. And now, while focusing on that aspect of divinity, we're going to repeat the same words 3 times. Eternal, omnipresent, without dependence, all-pervasive, deity of all that is. Eternal, omnipresent, without dependence on anything, all-pervasive, deity of all that there is. One more time. Eternal, omnipresent, without dependence upon anything, all-pervasive, deity of all that is. Now allow yourself to hold each of these qualities in your mind until you get a clear sense of their true meaning. Just stay with each quality until it begins to activate the memory and experience of this dimension in your personal consciousness. Eternal, omnipresent, without dependence on anything, all-pervasive, deity of all that is. Just keep returning to these words and what they represent until these dimensions of consciousness become more and more familiar to you. In time, if you choose to do this meditation, maybe daily for a while, they'll become a constant part of your experience. Eternal. Omnipresent. Without dependence on anything. All-pervasive. Deity of all that is. And as you no longer feel yourself disconnected from these powerful aspects of yourself, allow yourself to find again that sense of inner peace, that sense of completion. Eternal, omnipresent, without dependence on any support, all-pervasive, deity of all that there is. Meditate every moment on the meaning of these words, and you will attain these qualities. This is verse 132 of the Vijnana, Bhairava Tantra. So take a deep and clearing breath, letting go of this meditation. Check in with yourself again. Just notice how you're doing at this moment, what effects the meditation may have had for you. And again, I invite you to slowly open your eyes, and again, keeping your gaze relaxed. So in this meditation, we repeatedly considered the qualities of consciousness penetrating into their essence. Eternal, omnipresent, without dependence on any support, all-pervasive, deity of all that is. By constantly thinking deeply about these profound meanings of these words, we begin to enter into the experience that they point towards, and they're pointing toward that divine presence within yourself. So if you aren't already, I invite you to resume slow, long, deep breathing. Take a moment to let go of the previous experiences. And now, with your eyes either closed or open, I invite you to meditate on the fact that the entire appearance of the world around you is like being in a magic show. A magic show devoid of any essential reality. For what's real in a magic show? What you're seeing with a magician and his assistant on stage are deliberate illusions. So repeatedly thinking like this, everything around me is like a magic show. Allow yourself to let go into the deep peace that comes with this understanding. Let yourself enter into the timeless presence of your greater self. Think about that illusionary nature of the surface appearances in your life. And let all knowledge of differences dissolve. And without any thoughts about differences, the entire world is nothing more than your very own self. Contemplate that the appearance of this world is like a magic show, devoid of any essential reality for what is real in a magic show. By firmly thinking like this, you will experience great peace. In the timeless, changeless self, how can there be any knowledge or activity? External objects are dependent on our knowledge of them. Without this limited knowledge, the universe is void of all differentiation. So that was verses 133 and 134 of the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. So take another deep and clearing breath, letting go of this meditation. Again, check in with yourself and just notice how you're feeling after this experience. And if you had your eyes closed, I invite you to slowly open them and just keep that same relaxed gaze. So this is similar to some other meditations that we practiced earlier in this series. Magic shows involve something that's not what they seem. They are the presentation of illusions. On the surface, one thing appears to be happening, but in reality, something else is actually going on. So what we think of, we think that we are seeing, has actually no reality to it. We can do that and contemplate that the whole universe is like a magic show, a momentarily and superficial appearance in consciousness with no grounded reality to it. Then our minds' constructed judgments and expectations can fall away. And this allows us to glimpse past those illusions of thought and see into that timeless presence that exists behind all appearances. That divine presence within all things and within ourselves. And the inner peace that we find that comes with that realization. true self is not bound by time, space, or form. Only the individual self experiences the objective world as separate from itself. And this form of meditation encourages us to think deeply about the nature of the self and the nature of our thoughts and of our perceptions. And again, it is our limited perception of the world that traps our attention in those surface differences and blocks our ability to experience our timeless, divine self and our oneness with all things and all persons. So once again, begin breathing deeply. And once again, close your eyes and take a moment to clear your mind in preparation for the next exercise. And now as you breathe, I invite you to repeat the word bondage to yourself. Just repeat it silently over and over again, maybe matching your breath. And let yourself be aware of anything the word invokes for you in your realm of awareness. Bondage. 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 Perhaps thoughts manifest, or images, maybe memories or feelings. Just keep repeating the word bondage and be aware of what it invokes, what it produces in you. And now take a deep and clearing breath, letting go of bondage. And now continue breathing deeply and begin to silently repeat to yourself the word liberation. 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 And again, let yourself be aware of everything that the word invokes on a physical, emotional, mental, spiritual level. And now take a deep and clearing breath and let go of all thoughts concerning bondage and liberation. And think about that just as the sun is reflected in the surface of water, the entire world is nothing but a reflection in your mind. Contemplating the illusory nature of the world. So resting now in a place of stillness and silence, let yourself enter into that timeless presence of your greater self. continue thinking about the illusory nature of the surface, appearances of life. Let all knowledge of differences dissolve. Without any thoughts about differences, the entire world, witness it as part of your own divine self. There is neither bondage nor liberation for me. These ideas only intimidate the fearful. Just as the sun is reflected in water, this entire universe is like a reflection in the mind. Verse 135 of the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. So take another deep and clearing breath, letting go of the meditation. Take a moment to explore how you're doing at this very moment, what effects the meditation may have had. And then slowly opening your eyes, keeping that relaxed gaze. The notions of bondage and liberation can certainly be quite helpful at certain stages of our spiritual growth. And when we feel trapped in a sense of separation, the very idea of liberation can give us hope. However, even the most benign concepts can keep us trapped in the endless loops of our mind, what's known as the state of Samsara. So by going beyond our most prized spiritual beliefs, in this instance, bondage, liberation, we step out of our own judgments, we step out of our own expectations and projections. Without thoughts of controlling our perception, the true divine qualities are then allowed to become apparent. Like sunshine, reflecting on water, the entire universe is only a reflection, appearing in our minds. And once consciousness becomes free of even the highest ideas, it appears in its own original beauty. So for one last time, I invite you to close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let go. And I invite you now to recall an event in your life where you were experiencing pain, either on a physical or an emotional level. Let that memory of pain replay in your mind and recall that full experience. And now allow yourself to let go of the sensation of pain, just the sensation, and try to be aware of the experience beyond that sensation. So let the pain drop away. And what's remaining? Now take a deep and clearing breath and let go of that past experience and rest for a moment in stillness and silence. Just continue breathing deeply. And now I invite you to recall an event in your life where you were experiencing pleasure, either on a physical or an emotional level. And again, let it replay in your mind and recall that full experience. Now let go of that sensation of pleasure itself, and let yourself try to be aware of the experience beyond the sensation. Let pleasure drop away and just focus on what remains. Now take another deep and clearing breath. And let go of that past experience. And again, rest for a moment in stillness and in silence. And I invite you to think about what it would be like to withdraw your attention from your senses when faced with either pain or pleasure. So in the days ahead, I invite you to repeat this practice. Try and repeat it enough times so that in the future, if needed, you have a clear sense of how to do that. And let yourself feel how empowering it is to know that you have this capacity to pull back from pain or pleasure, pulling back into your true self. All contact with pain and pleasure comes through the senses. Withdraw your attention from your senses. Stay firm in yourself and abide in your own true nature. Vijnana, Bhairava Tantra, verse 136. So take a deep and clearing breath, letting go of the meditation, checking in with yourself just to see how you're doing at the moment. Slowly open your eyes. So this meditation was a variation of a practice known as Pratyahara, the withdrawal of the senses, described in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. In this type of exercise, we intentionally withdraw our attention from our senses and bring it back into ourself. The experiences of pain and pleasure can keep us trapped on the surface of our experience while shutting out the deeper meanings behind what is happening. So I think most of us can intuitively understand how pain is a trap, but the fact that even pleasure can pull us out of our center. Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, actually said that even pleasure is suffering because at some point you know that it's going to end. It is deeply empowering then to know that in the face of distracting pain and pleasure, we can withdraw our attention from our senses and hold steady in our true and divine self. So I invite you now to slowly bring the palms of your hands together at your heart center. Give gratitude to yourself for taking part in this practice, affirming that you can do these practices again when you have need. Blessings always. Namaste. And thank you so very much for joining me. Jai Ma.